Hello everyone. Before we start today's video, if you could all do me a solid and lightly tap the like button, perhaps share the video about and leave a comment. If you are not subscribed, subscribe as well. It would greatly help this channel. Thank you very much. Well, isn't this just fantastic? Captain's log. Subdates 220826.7. Crumble's expedited repairs have created a sufficient enough window that the first of the shrink traps has been deployed successfully. Now, as Dainty's feet are the size of peas, I've told the NPC cadets to man the harpoons. Hello everyone, welcome to This Week at Twitter, or twat. And today we're gonna start with something from last week that has bled into this week. Sugar Tits, fellow friend creator. She's a very likable individual, and last week we spoke about her because of this tweet. Minor attractive person's pride flag. I can't even deal. Underneath is an image explaining what the no-map community is, indicating what all the stripes represent, with the white stripe in the middle to represent innocence and unwillingness to offend. That's because if you had offended, that flag would look an awful lot like a bullseye, and you dumb motherfuckers know it. Well, since putting this tweet out, and I made my views on it quite clear in last week's This Week at Twitter, via Bare Skills, Sugar Tits' account just got permanently suspended for having an opinion on the pedo flag. What is this world? I'd found out this way, but also via Sugar Tits, when she left a comment on last week's twat video. What a crocker shite. You've banned her for having an opinion on something? By the way, she doesn't really give an opinion on it. If anything, she doesn't really say much, beyond indicating that this is a bit much. And it's certainly something I can wholeheartedly agree with. Please don't yeet me off Twitter though, because I need it. Twat relies on it. We all have very strong opinions when it comes to the subject of those who have a taste for children. Those opinions usually center around how we can deal with you, whether it be a pill that's shaped like a bullet, to others a short drop sudden stop, to others being taken into a small room where you are disassembled and used as mulch. Or for me, I can't say that that's what I believe for a second. I firmly believe in rehabilitation unless you've crossed the line. You cross the line, you go in an ISO cube, you lose your genitals, and you never come out ever again. In fact, I'll put you on a chain gang on Mars, digging for the machine god. But then we go back to the original problem. Sugar Tits lost her account for that. Twitter, what is wrong with you? You can't accuse her of promoting anything inherently wrong, because by doing that, you yourselves now look like you are protecting pedophiles. That's how it comes across. And that's a tad tragic. But since most things that feature in this video are tragic, we can move on to the next one. Thoughts and opinions. Kevils is now trying to deplatform Mr. Metica. Ha ha ha, this hoe on some shit, for real. Continuing, I don't know who thought it would stop at Kiwi Farms. You're either trans or transphobic in the Keffel's Autism Thunderdome. The image included is from Keffel's Twitter. I also don't know who Mr. Metica is, but this is his ban evasion account. Most of his posts seem to be commenting on Kiwi Farms related drama. I would also include the scalping of PS5 prices via Sony themselves. If you don't know who Mr. Metica is, you don't internet. But that's not surprising for someone who built a reputation off of ratioing people. Problem you've got is, you can't ratio him, but you have shown your colours quite handily. Your hand is solely exterminate all that oppose me, because you're a coward. That's what you are, Keffels. Oh, but they go after me. They're only going after you because you won't back off. Give them their space and stop being such a prick. This is not rocket science. Mr. Metica predates you handily, and as a commentary channel, when he was on YouTube as a commentary channel, he garnered a reputation for not giving a flying fook about people like you. And I don't mean people like you that are trans, I mean people like you that are stupid. You being trans is not relevant. But it's not surprising you'd go after him, because he's kind of pointed out some rather interesting facts about those that are going after Kiwi Farms and those who've gone after them before and what it has done in response. Pick your battles. You're so arrogant you actually think you can shut them down. Don't forget here, they've been shut down many times. They've been DDoSed on multiple occasions, and they're still up. You're really not going to accomplish what you think you're going to accomplish, even with you getting politicians involved. And it's hilarious that you and Marjorie Taylor Greene right now are on the same side of an argument. It tickles me to no end. Cecil McFly retweeted thoughts and opinions because they're both hoes and they love each other very much with, "I wish we could all go back to not knowing who Keffals is." I kind of agree. Someone that built a reputation off of ratioing creators, built a huge community, blocks everyone, complains when they are blocked, acts as if they're an authority on a subject that they're really not an authority on, and actively goes out of their way to deplatform others. All the hallmarks of a coward. Imagine my shock. Barbecue chicken. Now I understand why most people just livestream. YouTube's monetization algorithm for edited videos sucks. 100% it does. Many creators have moved away from creating content to instead stream live because there's a chance they'll make more money via donations. If I was able to do such a thing, I would be doing that more often, but it's not something I am capable of doing and maintaining to a standard that I'm okay with. One of the main reasons this is the case though with YouTube that is because they're trying to keep up with other sites, other platforms that they themselves wish to have a monopoly on, and in doing so are compromising their own base, i.e. shorts, to keep up with TikTok, the streaming and all the donation aspects, memberships and so on to keep up with Twitch. Doesn't quite work, but you know what? You do you, boo. You keep fleecing your creators for all those pennies that they don't make from you. It really is quite frustrating for us though that do make videos because we have to constantly battle to get a video greenlit, where it is reviewed manually by somebody from somewhere around the world that may or may not like it according to their own bias or interpretation of the rules that they have to adhere to greenlight a video. So I noticed Babylon 5 was trending, a show I'm not overly keen on, but I will admit it has quite the fan base, so please don't hurt me. The reason it was trending was because of the Space Shipper. Hello, what are your 4 favourite fictional spaceships that don't come from Star Wars or Star Trek? Now this one's quite easy for me. The first is called Serenity, the ship from Firefly. The second, a Gloriana-class battleship from Warhammer 40,000. The third, Battlestar Galactica, because I really did like that ship regardless of how clunky it was. And the fourth, because it is a spaceship to an extent, the TARDIS. Pre-Whittaker. Consider this audience participation, by the way. Do let me know what your favourite 4 are in the comments down below, along with perhaps putting, an F in the comments as well for the Space Shipper, because their tweet blew up and got something trending and it was a bit much for them. So there has been much in the way of criticism of She-Hulk so far. I haven't watched the show, not going to draw any conclusions on it. I have though seen Jessica Jones trending on Twitter, and this is because there's been some conflict. And I'm going to go through some of the tweets related. The Undying Crow. People pointed out Jessica Jones did a better job at displaying the emotional trauma of a woman who is abused than She-Hulk did by screaming of her rage at being catcalled. She-Hulk stans are mad, and just accusing everyone of hating women and also hating Jessica Jones actually. Jessica Jones the first season was fantastic. Second and third, no. They were bad. But when it came to demonstrating the relationship of someone who is manipulative and coercive, in the form of Kilgrave, excellently done. Clifford. Jessica Jones did a better job at explaining this. Quotes. It and She-Hulk both do a good job explaining this. The only difference is that one is recent and the other isn't, and you are using the non-recent one to hide your misogyny to seem like you actually care when you don't. It's the same thing when people say I love strong female characters, just not badly written ones, and the examples are always either Leia, Ripley, or Sarah Connor. I have never seen people do that for Ripley or Sarah Connor, but I will defer to your superior knowledge on this subject. Stoobs. #She-Hulk. Might genuinely be the first time some young men hear a woman speak candidly about experiences like this. It might not seem like it, but that's hugely important. I think in the context of what you provided the image underneath that is, you're referring to in the MCU. We hear this all the fucking time. If you don't see men listen to people when they bleat on about this, chances are you've not been paying any attention. Stop sniffing your own farts. Jennifer Walters' lawyer, with a bunch of quotes. Captain Marvel was too cocky. She was, and bland. Black Widow was mediocre. That's a lie. Miss Marvel was too childish. I know nothing of her. Wanda is unredeemable. Wanda's OP. Don't know about unredeemable. Mighty Thor was pushing an agenda. Mighty Thor is dead. She-Hulk is anti-men. Well, that's not true. If you read the comics enough, you know that's not true. I'm sensing a pattern, and it's called misogyny. Oh, I miss these arguments so much. And of course, this is just fiction, and at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. What matters is that, like any art form, it always reveals how you act in real life, and it speaks a lot of how y'all treat the women in your lives, and how much you care about their well-being. And of course, we can have endless discussion about some of the points I mentioned earlier for each movie show character. Maybe you do believe Black Widow is mediocre. My point is, all these coming from the same people feel very disingenuous and we can never have fair discussions. But you, by using the words you've used, are trying to silence the conversation. You do realise the hypocrisy in this, right? And I think I've adequately addressed all the ones above anyway. Captain Marvel is OP and boring. Black Widow is not mediocre in the slightest. The movie wasn't great, but that's entirely on Disney. Miss Marvel, no idea. Wanda, interesting, but OP as well. Mighty Thor, well, no point complaining about someone who's now in Valhalla, right? And She-Hulk has potential, genuine potential. A retweet from Dutch. Captain Marvel was boring. Black Widow was genuine trash. I skipped Miss Marvel. Wanda is literally a villain. Jane deserved to be in a better movie. She-Hulk is actually ass. The pattern here is Disney doesn't care about quality writing for the female heroes. And that, by the way, is another point. Phase 4 has taken a huge amount of abuse and criticism, more than any other phase. And the reason why is because there's no direction. They're just desperately trying to get all these different types of characters out in the hopes that something sticks. We know a couple of the shows have done well because they weren't intended to be more than a first season and they've gotten a second. Where it has resonated, it has been picked up for more. Or if Disney desperately want to explore all the stories they have access to, they'll just do it anyway, knowing that they can use this for a future reboot. Build the story now. When the story itself has about 20 years on its docket, people will start to look at it with some level of, okay, it's alright, because the newer version's out and that one's even more shite. Given the choice, I guess we'll go with the first one. I will state though, I'm not going to give an opinion on things I have not seen. I have seen some things, but again, I just want to show you the criticisms online and show you that in reality, people are just throwing around buzzwords because they think it makes them look smarter than they are, with a level of inflated sense of self-importance. How about agree to disagree and respect the fact that people aren't always going to appreciate something and it's not because of the female lead. It really isn't. If the writing is bad, the writing is bad. I'm a big fan of She-Hulk and I'd want to watch this show, but I did walk away from that kind of stuff. Maybe one day I'll go back and watch it, but part of me dreads watching it because I've seen the mixed reviews. It's not a good sign. And this particular little bit, I don't know which She-Hulk they got that from.